resolution tabled in Parliament for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan Resort. The DNA weighing in on that sale. And living with mental illness. We will explain.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the House of Assembly resumed today following the summer break. The highly anticipated resolution for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan Resort was tabled by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest. The government purchased the beachfront property for $65 million from Hutchison Lucaya Limited. Turnquest outlines how the funds will be paid.
A deposit of $10 million, which was due and paid upon execution of the SPA. B, an additional sum of $20 million, which was due and paid upon the completion date, as such term is defined in the SPA. And C, the balance of the purchase price in the sum of $35 million, the loan, to be secured by first demand legal mortgage over the properties, the mortgage, payable by 7 tranches of bonds of $5 million, each issued by the purchaser in favor of the vendors, with interest thereon payable quarterly at the rate of 4% per annum, and with each tranche maturing in consecutive 6-month periods after the completion date, with the first tranche maturing on the expiry of 6 months after the completion date, and guaranteed by the government.
Now, the DPM says the government's commitment to purchasing the island's anchor property is significant to the revitalization of Grand Bahamas' economy.
There is no doubt that the Grand Lucayan is a significant factor in the future of the economy of Grand Bahama. Despite or notwithstanding its 450 employees, attached to that property are a number of ancillary small and medium-sized businesses, individuals who derive their economic livelihood as a result of that property.
Now, opposition leader Philip Davis objecting to the adjournment, noting that while members were given a copy of the resolution, a copy of the sales agreement was not attached. The House was adjourned until Thursday morning at 10 a.m., at which time debate on the Grand Lucayan resolution is expected to begin. Now, executives of both unions representing line staff and management at the Grand Lucayan Hotel were present at today's sitting of the House of Assembly. While the Democratic National Alliance is giving its take on the government's purchase of the property, tonight the deputy leader shares why they do not fully support this move.
What is the plan for this property?
Deputy Leader of the Democratic National Alliance, Orinthia Komalofi, says that they are not in full support of the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Hotel. She says while the social and economic state of Grand Bahama is taken into consideration, she says many things about this sale has left them with more questions than answers.
There's this mixed message where you say on the one hand that we have a fiscally strapped house, but then at the same time you are putting aside and allocating for up to $65 million to purchase a property when you only allocated $25 million in this past national budget that went. And so we're confused, as I'm sure all of the Bahamian people are confused, that you're speaking with two mouths, you're speaking with two tongues. On the one hand, you're saying we don't have the funds and we've cut areas like social services, we've cut the Ministry of Education, we've made some cuts in these in health care. We have cuts there, but at the same time we're putting funds toward the purchase of this property.
She says it is imperative that a proper plan is in place as well as an exit strategy.
The history of the government of the Bahamas in managing hotel properties has not been a very good one. And it's almost like a black hole where you're just putting funds in there. And, you know, if you say to the Bahamian people, I'm going to increase your taxes, particularly in value-added tax, 60% in one shot, and they've only been in office for 1 year, and then you go and you put these funds to the purchase of this hotel, which you may sell at a loss, because it's not your funds. It's the funds of the taxpayers of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The deputy leader adds that while the government may feel like it is between a rock and a hard place due to Grand Bahama's ailing economy, they are demanding transparency throughout the process.
We do appreciate the fact that things are dire here in Grand Bahama. We know that the unemployment rate is in excess of 12%, which is very high. In fact, it's higher than the national average. It's the highest unemployment rate in the country. So we understand the urgency of the matter, but we also feel that when we're going into decisions like this is going to have an impact on the public treasury, it's going to have an impact on the consolidated fund, it's going to have an impact on the purses and the pockets of Bahamians, that it is incumbent upon the government to give us the requisite information that we need in order to make a determination going forward.
In other news, it was during the national budget debate earlier this year that the government of the Bahamas promised free education at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute to all interested Bahamians. That is now reality, and officials at the Northern Campus say residents are taking full advantage. Megan Shepard has the details.
Associate Vice President of the Grand Bahama campus, Veronica Colley, says that since the implementation of free education, BTVI has seen about a 70% increase in enrollment for the fall semester. She says that Grand Bahamians have taken full advantage of this initiative.
The significant part of it is that in the information technology area, we can safely say that we saw a 100% enrollment since last enrollment in fall of 2017. Right? We've also added a few programs. Information technology, this is the first time we've been able to actually accept new students into the program without the students having to register in a blended environment through our online program with Nassau campus. We're able to have the students registered through the instructors here at the Freeport campus.
While a lack of funding may have been an obstacle to some in the past, Colley says that this new move by the government eliminates that concern.
Many persons, because of financial situations, couldn't actually attend. So when they saw this opportunity for the free education, they literally took advantage. From the day it was announced, we had applications coming in. So it says to us that they are interested, we are interested in Grand Bahama, and if we are given a little boost, there are some things that we can do.
Now, not only is tuition free for all courses offered at the Institute, but so is associated certifications. Colley says that she commends the government for this all-encompassing scholarship initiative.
They're also taking care of books or whatever other charges. You have the certification that they have to do sometimes, well, especially in the construction trades, they have to do this OSHA certification. All students must do that in order to work in the labs. And it's taking care of certifications also related to IT. So basically it's not just a scholarship for tuition, it takes care of them overall in their program.
In order to qualify, Colley says you must be enrolled as a full-time student.
The students should be enrolled in 12 or more credits or 4 courses at the Institute here in order to be qualified, or in order to qualify for the free education at BTVI.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Switching gears now, the Freeport Container Port welcoming the largest vessel to date. The MSC Shreya B called at the port recently, opening the door to a new scale of business. The vessel was able to call at the port due to the capacity of the high-tech remote-controlled cranes to accommodate the world's largest vessels. This mega vessel coming just weeks after the transshipment terminal received 3 new state-of-the-art remote cranes. These larger cranes have not only introduced the latest in crane technology to the port, but have also expanded its capacity to accommodate larger vessels with more capacity. Now, the new cranes replaced those that were destroyed during Hurricane Matthew some 2 years ago. The Crime Beat police on the island of Abaco recovering a firearm, ammunition, and dangerous drugs at a resort on that northern island. Reports are that officers were called to the resort and marina in Marsh Harbor around 2 p.m. yesterday, where they discovered a black .9mm pistol with 12 rounds of ammunition and a quantity of suspected marijuana. Meantime, police in Abaco also arresting a 17-year-old male student after he was found in possession of dangerous drugs. drugs. Police tell us that around 3 p.m. yesterday, officers were called to the SC Boodle High School, where the teenager was found in possession of a quantity of suspected marijuana. He was arrested, taken into police custody, and is expected to be arraigned sometime this week. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after the break.